It's a Sunday morning tradition, our look back to those who left us in the year gone by. They had all sorts of talents, all kinds of skills, and one big thing in common: they will be missed. No need for us to spell it out. Aretha Franklin rose to become the Queen of Soul. Baby, baby, sweet baby. Jay, Jay, Jay. Jay, you make me feel like a natural woman.
Do you think you're intimidating?
I could be. I've seen that a little bit.
Our respects to one of the greats.
Loving him a little bit more each day turns me right on when I hear him say.
By the way, Aretha was daydreaming of a very particular temptation when she wrote this song.
I was daydreaming about him, yes.
Yeah. I think he said he made a mistake in not marrying you.
Yeah, I said you sure did. You sure did.
Dennis Edwards, lead singer of The Temptations. He too left us this year.
My audience is the people you fly over between New York and L.A.
Burt Reynolds. He spent almost 60 years in front of the camera.
I just go from place to place and do what I do best.
What's that?
Show off.
Show off indeed. He even did his own stunts.
I do love doing stunts, and I love stuntmen, and I always have.
Kitty O'Neill was a daredevil, but no wonder you didn't know it. She was Linda Carter's stunt double, and she didn't seem to be afraid of anything.
What's for lunch?
I guess it's a squeezel.
Squeezel?
Nothing scared Anthony Bourdain when it came to food. He unabashedly sampled all kinds of cuisine.
Not bad. A little quality time once in a while, sweating and shaking on a cold bathroom floor, is well worth all the truly great meals I've had in my life. And I wouldn't have had them if I'd been afraid.
Our thanks to Anthony Bourdain for plate after plate of culinary culture.
Man, you were talking my language here.
It's that time of year.
Dorcas Riley. She came up with a kitchen classic. She perfected Campbell's green bean casserole. 6 ingredients, 40 minutes. Good. Oh, and that jingle? Marlene Verplank sang us that.
Soups are good.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Who knew a sponge could be such a squeeze? Former marine biology teacher Stephen Hillenberg put square pants on a silly yellow sponge.
Today's the big day, Gary.
And soaked up millions of viewers in the process. Don't touch that dial. Time to say so long to some other familiar faces.
Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Carson of Peyton Place.
I like the sound of it. Love comes in all shapes and sizes. Artist Robert Indiana made that eternally clear.
I have to face it. I know where I am stuck. It's going to be Indiana and love for the rest of time.
He spread love all over the globe.
You know, as an artist, you don't just copy reality. You try to enhance it or just see how it might look if you did something else to it.
You might call astronaut Alan Bean's art out of this world. He painted lunar landscapes, Only he and a few others have ever walked on.
Off the ground, on the floor. There we go.
John Young was certainly no stranger to space. He went up 6 times and went on to be the first commander of the Columbia.
This thing is just performing just outstanding.
Over and out, John Young.
For me, it is quite an achievement. I never thought I would get so far.
Stephen Hawking never did make it to space, but his mind roamed the cosmos. Hawking helped all of us better understand the mysteries of the universe.
Oh, gee, I've got so many more stories to tell. Oh, guys. Oh, gee.
Stan Lee gave us a different universe. Something to marvel at.
Did you ever worry you were going to run out of characters or run out of superpowers?
No, that never really occurred to me. It was too much fun doing them.
And guess which one of his classic creations almost never made it off the drawing board?
I ran into my publisher. I said, "Have I got an idea for you? His name is Spider-Man. He's a teenager with personal problems." I couldn't get any further. He said, "Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard."
Happily, a talented artist by the name of Steve Ditko didn't think so and gave Spidey an appeal that sticks with us to this day. Excelsior to Steve Ditko and Stan Lee.
I'm so sure that you're Superman that I'm willing to bet my life on it.
Actress Margot Kidder didn't have superpowers, but she sure had a hunch who did.
And if I'm wrong, you've got yourself one hell of a story.
But her real heroics were off-screen. Kidder advocated for the mentally ill at a time when few other celebrities were willing to go the distance.
The tape is broken, and so is the record athletes have long been dreaming about.
Roger Bannister went the distance in record time.
The 25-year-old medical student became the first man in the world to run a mile in under 4 minutes.
He clocked in at 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. Earl Bakken set a life-saving pace. He developed the first portable pacemaker. Microsoft's Paul Allen changed the way we live. He helped put a computer in just about every home. And Ted Dabney showed us you don't need a computer to play video games. The co-founder of Atari tinkered around with old TV parts and gave us Pong.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Goodbye to Douglas Rain. He gave Hal that cold, methodical voice.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Vern Troyer never spoke as Mini-Me, but sure made us laugh as he took on Austin Powers, that British spy with mojo.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench.
Eunice Gayson was a lover to that other British spy.
Bond. James Bond.
Farewell to the first Bond girl, Gayson, Eunice Gayson.
Is this your floor, ma'am?
Connie Sawyer stuck around Hollywood long enough.
Is this your floor, ma'am?
Oh. To become its oldest working actress. Her secret, take the small roles. She was 105.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop.
Jerry Marin knew a thing or two about small roles. Still, he had a big personality.
I told my mother, look for the guy with the lollipop, because that's me.
We wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
How about that as an accessory?
Extraordinaire.
Kate Spade, she knew all about accessories.
You get to pick and choose what it is you want that makes you feel like you.
So long, Kate. You left us too soon.
what a colorful man. He wears white suits. I realized I had a substitute for a personality.
Tom Wolfe's fashion sense was just as eclectic as the subjects he wrote about.
This country is wild. This country is bizarre. And I contend that you could settle in for a month, any county in this country, and come up with a great yarn.
Tom Wolfe. He truly had the right stuff. Clay was the right stuff for Will Vinton. His raisins were irresistible.
That's sweet.
Would you like to take Lola someplace tonight?
Gee, I sure would like to, but you know what Mr. Van Buren would say?
He'd say you're lucky boy.
Hollywood heartthrob Tab Hunter made the girls swoon. But his all-American boy was a fiction.
Well, Tab Hunter to me was a fabrication, you know. I mean, it is me, but it's the Hollywood fabrication.
Hunter came out later in life, some 40 films later.
My name is Corporal Schaefer. When I say jump, all I want to hear from you is how high.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to.
Ronald Lee Ermey drew on his experiences as a real-life drill sergeant to play a famously harsh one in the movies.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up. Get on your feet.
At ease, Sarge.
Good night, ladies. Good night, sir.
Good morning, Vietnam! I wish that I had been as neat a guy as he portrayed me.
And goodbye to the real Adrian Cronauer. The Air Force DJ, played by Robin Williams, helped young troops new to Vietnam feel at home.
I was sitting in Saigon defending my country at 33 1/3 RPM.
Let's get started right now with music.
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Got nowhere to run to, baby.
What is your name?
Lieutenant Commander John McCain.
Navy aviator John McCain. He spent 5.5 years as a prisoner of war before returning home.
I was raised in the concept and belief that duty, honor, country is the lodestar for the behavior that we have to exhibit every single day.
I will not vote for this bill as it is today.
The Arizona senator was a maverick to the end. A salute to you, John McCain. And a salute to all our men and women in uniform, all over the world. We will never forget your service. Anna Mae Hayes rose through the ranks to become the nation's first female general. She left us at age 97. We lost our oldest veteran just this past week. Richard Overton was 112. And aloha to Hawaii Senator Daniel Akaka. He fought to better the lives of veterans.
The Democrats versus the Republicans.
Jun Rhee taught hundreds of members of Congress a very different style of fighting. He was a Grand Master of Taekwondo.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Edwin Hawkins brightened our days. He rearranged this hymn and created a gospel hit.
When Jesus walked, he washed my sins away.
Well, this is my chapel here.
Every day was a happy day for St. John's University's John Gilardi. His claim to fame, the winningest coach in all of college football.
When it comes off and it's works well, it's sort of like, to me, like drawing a beautiful painting, I guess.
So many athletes with such astonishing talents left us this year. Billy Graham, he knew how to pack a stadium.
Wherever you are, God is giving you an opportunity once again to give your life to Jesus Christ.
He called himself America's pastor and insisted he was always ready for those pearly gates.
I'm looking forward to seeing God face to face.
Shall we pray?
It was Graham who delivered the prayer at the inauguration of President George H.W. Bush.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
I see history as a book with many pages, and each day we fill a page with acts of hopefulness and meaning.
We'll remember our 41st president for his honest decency.
I want a kinder and gentler nation.
Happily married 73 years. Very happily.
I think he's the wisest, smartest, most decent, caring person I know. And I think he's the handsomest thing I ever laid my eyes on.
Barbara Bush, wife to one president, mother to another. Literacy was her cause.
Just everything is connected with illiteracy. If you can't read, you cannot function as a giving, doing person in our society.
It's so yellow, it's so fluffy.
Todd Bowl agreed. He spent his life setting up little free libraries all across the country.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
And buttons are that will get you pretty far. Dig this.
Songwriter Bob Doro knew the score. His songs for the children's animated series Schoolhouse Rock took on all kinds of subjects.
At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Robert Mann's subject was classical music.
See, if you're dying, you can't start being dead. I mean, you have to die from life. So you have, then you can die. Okay?
With his Juilliard string quartet, he had the world on a string. And so many other musicians left us. As a child, Linda Brown had to walk miles to school, even though there was a classroom just a few blocks from home.
My father did in turn take me to the all-white school in our neighborhood and tried to enroll me, and that's how we became a part of Brown versus Board of Education in 1954.
And that's how Linda Brown became the face behind the lawsuit that made separate but equal a thing of the past. Rosie the Riveter rallied the nation during World War II. Any number of women claim to be the real Rosie, but it's largely believed Naomi Parker Fraley was the real inspiration. So long, Rosie. And so long, Coleman Aaron. His talents as a young artist helped him survive 7 concentration camps. He later moved to Los Angeles and created something beautiful out of tragedy. We were shocked by the shootings at the Capital Gazette in Annapolis, Maryland. But more than 50 other journalists were also killed this past year. Our thanks to our colleagues, striving to find the truth.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Carl Castle.
Carl Castle. He gave us the headlines on NPR's morning edition for 3 decades. His voice was stilled this past year.
I'm a pickin', and I'm a grinning.
Roy Clark. He kept us a grinning. Where would country music be without TV's hee-haw?
Hey, how many head of cattle do you have? I don't know. They're always facing the wrong way.
Well, I think laughter helps the world. People need to get happy, and I think it's always helped me, and I'm very seldom sad.
Mort Walker and his Beetle Bailey kept us laughing for 68 years in the funny papers, longer than any other cartoonist.
I think I'm crazy. Well, if it'll make you feel any better, I think so, too.
It's very tough to write a comedy. If it wasn't tough to do a comedy, then you would see about 1,000 of them on the stage, but you don't see them.
And take a bow, Neil Simon. You knew a thing or two about funny.
Words that are funny have a K sound in it.
Look, I've got to get back to the office.
Cucumber's funny. Cucumber is funnier than lettuce. Am I right? Yes.
Neil Simon, the toast of Broadway.
When does the legacy begin?
I think when you're gone, way down the line.
When I'm gone, huh? Okay. I don't worry about that.
Philip Roth was one of our greatest novelists.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable! Inconceivable! You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Nothing inconceivable about it. Few could turn a phrase like screenwriter William Goldman.
Just follow the money. Are you crying?
No.
There's no crying in baseball!
Maureen, this way, this way, this way.
And truly, in a league of her own, director Penny Marshall. And we'll never forget her as the lovable Laverne. We'll remember composer Harvey Schmidt. They say it took him just a few minutes to write this musical classic.
Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow.
There are so very many we'll try to remember. Some died young, some old. But they leave behind so many gifts to be grateful for.
Deep in December, our hearts should remember and follow.
To one and all, we say thank you. To one and all, we say hail and farewell.